Yeah, Lena and Fred, the shop that I visited makes custom bicycles. They largely import the parts to make them, and they say they have seen their costs go up, but they're not counting on a refund. So these ended up being more expensive than you anticipated?
Yeah, almost like $2.
At General Classification, a bicycle boutique in Center City, they've seen the impact of tariffs, sometimes by surprise, like when an order of water bottles arrived after the shop had already advertised the price.
How much are you selling them for?
I'm selling these for 18.
For 18?
Yes.
Okay, and you thought you were paying how much for them?
I thought I was paying 9.
And how much did you end up paying?
11.
When it comes to the high-end custom bicycles they build and sell, Santos says tariffs have also made the components they use more expensive.
Some of the companies are absorbing half of it. Some of the companies are absorbing a portion of it. Some of them aren't at all. Some of them have just raised their price.
Now, after a Supreme Court ruling and amid new tariffs, the question for small businesses like this one is what comes next and whether they could get a refund for what they've paid.
So in short, Lauren, this next phase I would term messy.
Jonathan Doe is a professor of international business at Villanova University.
If you were to be able to get refunds, whether you're a consumer or a business, what kind of documentation would you need?
Yeah, you need the invoice, and you need the invoice that actually shows the tariff as a line item.
Gathering that could be labor intensive for a small business, and sometimes the cost is less clear.
Unfortunately, those businesses that are at the end of the food chain that simply paid more for their products because somebody further up the food chain had to pay a tariff are probably out of luck.
General Classification's part owner happens to be a lawyer by trade.
I think this highlights the plight of small businesses in the region and frankly nationally. You know, these are companies that are generally run by one person or two people, and they don't have access to legal counsel. They don't have insight into what's going on.
When it comes to refund money flowing back to this business,
You know, in an ideal situation, yeah, hopefully we do get a check, but I'm not necessarily counting on it now.
There's still a lot of uncertainty about what happens next. One of those shop owners said increased cost for parts has led them to increase their prices for their custom bicycles, and he thinks people are holding off on buying, waiting to see if the prices will go down.